What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news for you concerning Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Look, the conversation that I have with a lot of Wilder fans and stuff like that. Let me break something down to you because, comments, I get tired of replying to comments because some people try to make sense out of the matter, but some people don't. This is for the people that do. Okay. Deontay Wilder's in a position now where he has limited options. Okay. Where as of a week ago, everything looked on the up and up. He had a new deal. An AJ wanted to fight him. Tyson Fury rematch was in the brew. But now it's one of those situations where he clearly doesn't have that because, there's talks of Fury holding back in the fight, waiting for the summertime, waiting for a better time in his own country. And, you can't fault him for it. Look what he's done look what he's done already from being off that long. But anyway, back to Deontay. Well, Deontay's in a situation now where he put himself in the situation. He turned down the $28 million. And to get down to the root of the matter for all you Wilder fans, Deontay Wilder wants a percentage split. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it because he's not in any position to get that, okay? Regardless of what you think about your fighter, it doesn't matter. He's not going to be entitled to 50-50. At this point, he probably won't get 30-70. But he can get a substantial amount of money, the type of money that he will never make with any other fighter, including Fury, okay? Because regardless of what he thinks the numbers will do, they won't do $28 million worth of money for him. He might get $28 million split between him and another fight, him and Fury. That could happen, but he's not going to make that money with anyone else. Now, it would be different if it was. Look, it would be different if people criticize Anthony Joshua for not showing up at the fight. That's real petty, and it's very trivial for him, not showing up at their fight. He didn't show up at their fight because he didn't really need to be there. He wasn't the guy that was fighting. Why should he be the guy that show up at his fight? Deontay Wilder did not show up at Anthony Joshua Povetkin fight. He made no effort. And when he was paid to be there, mind you. Okay, that's a big difference. Let's look at it this way. If Anthony Joshua was paid to be there as a commentator, from at that pay-per-view, at that show for Showtime, and they wanted to pay Anthony Joshua to be there, and Anthony Joshua didn't show up, okay, that would have seemed suspect. It would have been another thing if Anthony Joshua had already all of a sudden wanted to fight Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua got knocked out like Manny Pacquiao did with Marquez, right? So that would be different. That would be different if something drastically changed with Anthony Joshua that caused him to either lose notoriety or, he got beat. That would change everything. Of course it would. None of that has happened. I would buy that too. Then I would say, oh, he wants to take the fight now since he got knocked out by somebody. I would get that. Then I could see what all the fuss is. But none of that happened. He waited until you had your fight. You guys said that you weren't going to negotiate anytime during the preparation for Fury, which made sense. After the Fury fight, okay, as promised, these guys made you an offer and you reneged on it. So since you reneged on it, you said it was trash, you said it wasn't a lot of money, you said this, you said that. Well, now your options are limited, okay? Your options are limited, and you really don't know what it is for you to do. The only thing, saving grace, is Fury decides to bypass Davidson's instructions and take the fight anyway, which, he didn't listen to his dad. So, he could do it. It could happen. He could go and fight Deontay Wilder. And in that case, Deontay Wilder's off the hook. But if that fight doesn't happen, he's going to look like an idiot because now The only option he has left, because he's already put his foot in his mouth for turning down the AJ fight, okay, well, he can fight Dominique Brazil. That's the only person that I know, or Dillian White, which I don't think he wants White because he doesn't want to deal with Eddie Hearn because he's a very emotional, timid person. You know what I mean? He doesn't, his personality will get in the way of making that fight happen because of his views on Eddie Hearn, which I don't understand anyway. You don't have to like a guy to do business with him, and he's going to learn that. But that shows you how less of experience he has on this platform. So it's like these guys get to a certain plateau in their career and they don't know how to handle certain things. And that's what I'm clearly seeing. You want to make these big decisions, which you really should think about, besides going to social media and this, that, and the other, but no, it is Deontay's decision. He's made some bad choices in his career. So is his management for him. And this is the result of it. This is the result of someone, trying to be on a level or pretending to be on the level that they're clearly not, and that'll hurt you every time when you think you're there and you're not there yet. And you're not doing the necessary things to be there. You know what I mean? You're not making the sacrifices like the other fighters have, because if you look at all the other guys, you look at Joseph Parker, you look at even Charles Martin, those two guys, you look at Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua was in a position where he had to make some decisions. He could have been fighting guys and kept fighting guys that had his resume like Deontay did, but he didn't take that situation. He didn't make that decision. He made a decision and he took a risk, and the risk was worth the reward. And it panned out very nicely for him. That's why he's able to call shots. So if he can model anybody or look at anyone, which you'd probably hate to do, but it's true. If he wants to look at someone's career and see how it's done, he needs to look at the guy that everyone keeps talking about for him to fight, which is Anthony Joshua. He needs to look at Anthony Joshua and mirror his career like, hey, I need to take chances. And if he does believe, and you know what's sad about it? He probably thinks he can beat Anthony Joshua. It's either he either thinks he can beat him and this little timid ass personality that allows him to get in his own way, or he probably don't think that he can do it. But knowing someone like that has a big head, he probably thinks he can knock out anyone, but he's so damn hung up on money and stuff like that, he's forgot his own purpose in the fight game. I thought it was to take care of his family and have his family set for life, to have one face, one name. It's clearly not that. It's about trying to be at a certain status. It's about trying to claim yourself as the top fighter in the division, which before that wasn't even the case. He didn't give a damn about that. He didn't care about who knew him or who didn't. He just said that, 2 days before they actually fought. Now he's trying to be Mr. Big Shit because now he's caught up on numbers and stuff like that, like he's a part of some kind of management team, and he's clearly not. So it's just sad for Deontay. And this is not a bashing video because a lot of times I go hard on Deontay. In fact, I'm uploading a video right now, a volume 2 to The Undisputed Lie. So if you guys haven't seen that, check it out because I do go hard. But I do want to be informative also because, it is about telling the facts and telling people how it is, because a lot of people just don't know what they're really doing to themselves. I'm unapologetic about it because, I don't like to come off bashing a certain fighter, but the truth has to be told about fighters and the reality of how these fights get made and why they get made. Okay. So, I'm just going to leave you guys with that, with Deontay. He really does need to humble himself and really take a look in the mirror, but it's going to take something to happen before he realizes that. So hopefully when that happens, because you got to fall to get back up. So he's never been in a position for him to actually fall, to fight someone to fail. So when that happens, that's the only way you'll know what Deontay Wilder is truly made out of, being an American champ or an ex-American champ. Hopefully he can regain it again or whatever. But If he loses the fight, he needs to understand if he ever loses to someone, they don't have to give him a rematch because he's probably going to be overlooking the fighter that beats him. So then when he loses to them, that fighter will fight AJ and lose to AJ. And then he has to eventually fight AJ. Okay, so it could happen that way, but we will see. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.